In the vast, uncharted expanses of our galaxy, encounters between species can be as varied as they are unpredictable. Some lead to alliances, others to conflict. But none are quite as legendary as the first contact between humans and the Kro'nath. This is the story of how humanity proved itself to be one of the most formidable forces in the galaxy. Our story begins in a remote star system, far from the bustling centers of galactic civilization. The Kro'nath, a warrior race known for their aggression and territorial instincts, had discovered a small human settlement on an otherwise unremarkable planet. The Kro'nath had always believed themselves to be the dominant force in the galaxy, having never encountered a species that could match their ferocity. That was, until they crossed paths with humans. The Kro'nath, true to their nature, launched an unprovoked attack on the human settlement. Their ships descended from the skies, unleashing destruction with advanced weaponry. They assumed the humans were just another primitive species to be conquered, another notch on their belts. But they were about to receive a harsh lesson in underestimating their opponents. As the Kro'nath soldiers advanced, burning and destroying everything in their path, they encountered little resistance at first. The humans seemed to be fleeing, their settlements crumbling under the relentless assault. It was a scene of chaos and devastation. The Kro'nath were confident, almost arrogant, in their superiority. They had no idea who they were dealing with. Then, in the midst of the chaos, a lone human scout appeared. Clad in advanced combat armor, the scout moved with a speed and precision that caught the Kro'nath off guard. He was a blur of motion, darting between the burning buildings. The Kro'nath soldiers, towering and heavily armed, struggled to keep up with his movements. The scout's helmet-mounted recording equipment captured every detail of the encounter. The Kro'nath leader, a massive figure with a flamer and a laser mounted on his arms, spotted the scout and raised his weapon. But before he could fire, the scout was upon him. In a display of agility and strength, the scout severed the Kro'nath leader's weapon arm with a monomolecular edged sword. The Kro'nath leader let out a great keening screech, backing away in shock. He tried to retaliate with his remaining weapon, but the human scout was too fast. The leader fired his laser, but the scout simply stepped aside, moving with a speed that seemed almost supernatural. The scout didn't actually dodge the laser blast. He was so quick that in the time it took the leader to bring the weapon to bear, aim, and pull the trigger, the scout had already assessed where the blast would land and moved out of the way. As the scout continued his assault, his team joined the fight. These were no ordinary soldiers. They were equipped with state-of-the-art stealth technology, active camouflage that rendered them nearly invisible, and advanced weaponry designed for maximum efficiency. The Kro'nath soldiers were no match for their human counterparts. In minutes, the Kro'nath assault team was decimated, their advanced weaponry and sheer numbers rendered useless against the human scouts' superior tactics and reflexes. Only a few Kro'nath soldiers survived, retreating to their ship in a state of disbelief. They had never encountered a species that could not only match but exceed their combat abilities. They had no choice but to flee and report back to their leaders. The Kro'nath, unwilling to accept defeat, sent a larger fleet to deal with the human threat. This time, they faced a united human defense force, ready and waiting. Despite their superior numbers, the Kro'nath were no match for the coordinated strategies and advanced weaponry of the human forces. The humans, accustomed to conflict among their own factions, had honed their combat skills to a fine edge. Their ships, though less technologically advanced, were piloted by expert tacticians who outmaneuvered the Kro'nath at every turn. On the ground, human soldiers, equipped with both advanced firearms and traditional melee weapons, fought with a ferocity and skill that left the Kro'nath stunned. The Kro'nath fleet, built for straightforward assaults and overwhelming force, found itself outclassed by the humans' complex tactical maneuvers. Human pilots executed intricate formations, drawing the Kro'nath into traps and ambushes. The Kro'nath, used to overpowering their enemies, found themselves on the defensive for the first time. The ground engagements were even more one-sided. Human soldiers, trained in a variety of combat styles and equipped with versatile weaponry, engaged the Kro'nath with brutal efficiency. The scout team that had decimated the initial assault force was joined by reinforcements, and together they turned the tide of battle. The Kro'nath, used to being the aggressors, were now the ones fleeing for their lives. Realizing they were facing an unprecedented threat, the Kro'nath leaders finally sought to understand their new adversaries. Through painstaking analysis and eventual diplomatic overtures, They learned that humans were not just warriors but a complex and diverse species capable of both great violence and profound cooperation. The humans, for their part, were willing to negotiate. They had no interest in unnecessary slaughter and were eager to learn about the galaxy's other sentient species. What began as a brutal conflict eventually led to an uneasy peace and a new era of interstellar diplomacy. Today, humans and Kro'nath, though still wary of each other, work together in a fragile alliance. Their initial conflict served as a stark reminder to all species: never underestimate humanity's capacity for both destruction and cooperation. But what makes humans so dangerous? Why did they manage to repel the Kro'nath so effectively? To understand this, we need to delve into the unique aspects of human evolution and culture. Humans evolved on a planet teeming with predators and environmental challenges. Unlike many sentient species, humans developed as apex predators. They hunted other animals for survival, honing their physical abilities and tactical thinking over millennia. This constant struggle for survival against both the elements and other predators forged a species that is incredibly resilient, adaptable, and, above all, strategic. But it wasn't just their physical evolution that made humans formidable. Their cultural evolution played an equally important role. Throughout history, humans have been divided into countless factions, each vying for power and resources. This constant state of conflict led to the development of sophisticated warfare tactics, advanced weaponry, and a deep understanding of strategy and logistics. In many human cultures, a significant portion of society is dedicated to the art of warfare. From the samurai of Japan to the knights of medieval Europe, warriors have held a place of honor and importance. These warriors trained relentlessly, mastering both physical combat and strategic thinking. This focus on martial prowess permeated human culture, creating a species that is as deadly in combat as it is complex in its social interactions. This cultural emphasis on warfare is not just about physical combat. It extends to every aspect of human society. From politics to economics, humans approach conflicts with a strategic mindset. They plan, they adapt, and they execute their plans with precision. This combination of physical capability and strategic thinking makes them a unique and formidable species. One might wonder why humans, who are so capable of violence, are also so willing to engage in diplomacy and cooperation. The answer lies in their sentience. Humans are not mindless killers. They are capable of great empathy, creativity, and cooperation. Their societies are built on complex social structures that value both individual achievement and collective well-being. When the Kro'nath attacked the human settlement, they inadvertently united the human factions. The initial attack on the settlement was seen as an attack on humanity as a whole, prompting a united response. Human factions, which had been in conflict with each other, put aside their differences to face the common threat. This ability to unite in the face of adversity is another aspect of human resilience. The Kro'nath, through their aggression, had unknowingly provoked a species that thrives on challenge and conflict. The humans not only defended their settlement but also used the conflict as an opportunity to showcase their strength and unity. The initial clash with the Kro'nath became a turning point, leading to a broader recognition of humanity's place in the galaxy. Today, humans are respected and, to some extent, feared across the galaxy. Their reputation as fierce defenders and strategic thinkers precedes them. But they are also known for their curiosity, their willingness to explore and learn, and their capacity for forming alliances. The initial conflict with the Kro'nath, while brutal, ultimately paved the way for greater understanding and cooperation among the galaxy's sentient species. As we reflect on this story, let it serve as a reminder of the complexity and resilience of humanity. They are not to be underestimated, whether in battle or in diplomacy. Their unique combination of physical prowess, strategic thinking, and cultural complexity makes them a force to be reckoned with. Thank you for joining us on this journey through our adventure. If you enjoyed this story, please